Welcome to the show where stories unfold.
Let's go.
People doing big things, breaking the mold. They're changing the game, making waves every day.
Big move.
Shining bright with the work that is right.
Shine on.
This is Breaking the Silence with Nikki Nicole.
Nicole in the building.
Unleash your inner voice and make some noise.
Turn up. Welcome to the Breaking the Silence podcast with Author Nikki Nicole. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell your cousin, tell your friend, tell your neighbor to come over here and break the silence with Author Nikki Nicole. Welcome to another powerful episode. Sit back and relax. Enjoy the conversation.
Hey everyone. Welcome to another powerful episode of Breaking the Silence. I'm your host, Author Nikki Nicole, your voice from the Carolinas. And I just want to take a moment just to say thank you for being here to witness this amazing episode. This isn't just a podcast, y'all. It's a movement. Breaking the Silence is a space built for ones who've been through the storm, for the ones who've been told to be quiet, to be still, to move on, but deep down, they knew their story wasn't finished. This platform was created to give visibility, opportunity, inspiration, connection, and empowerment to everyday heroes. Folks just like you and me. So we can speak our truth, spark our healing, and show others they are not alone. So let me tell you about my guest today. My guest today is a perfect example of that purpose. Miss Stacy Cregar. She's a single mom of 3, and she has a testimony that will blow your mind. She survived sexual assault, domestic violence, cancer, 3 strokes, and she's a recovering addict and a grieving mother who lost a 4-year-old baby. Let me tell you something. I would have lost my mind, but she's still standing for a reason. And I am so honored to be able to put her in the spotlight today. So sit back, relax, because this one is going to touch somebody today. So after her countdown, please welcome this amazing woman to the platform. Hello, Miss Stacy. Thank you so much for being a guest on my platform today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
When I saw you on Meek's platform, I said, you know what? Now she has a story that can truly break the silence. I got to have her on my platform as well. So now with your story being so incredibly powerful and you've been through so much, things that would normally break anybody for the most human part. Can you share with me what has kept you going through all these challenges and how did it lead to your decision of speaking out?
I would have to say my children. My children really kept me going. Because if it wasn't for them, I would not be here. I know that for a fact. And I lost faith a little while after my daughter passed away, but then I found my faith again in God. And that's really what kept me going is my faith in my children.
Wow, you say you lost faith. I just had an interview not too long ago, and that same thing was said to me. I lost it all, and I lost my faith too. So now, people say, faith is just a mustard seed.
Mm-hmm.
How did you regain your faith even going through all of that? And now children can move mountains because I tell everybody all the time, my grandson, he can make me do anything that he wants me to do. But how did you regain your faith in that process of going through so much?
I took a step back after my recovery, and I looked at other people's stories and other people's lives and realized that I'm not the only person that's gone through the struggle that I went through. There is a parent out there that lost 4 children the day I lost one. There's a grieving mom, dad, so many different things. So that was that was where I was like, okay, I have to look at other people's perspective and say, okay, it's not just that. And then I said, there is a God out there. He just knew that I couldn't handle the things that he had in store for me in the future, or you know. So I wasn't able to handle what was going on with my daughter at the time, health wise, and what her future looked like, and then my future at the same time. So
Wow. Somebody lost 4 children the same day that you lost your child.
yes, there was a fire.
Wow. But you know what? That's just proof that, there's somebody always out there going through something worse than we are. And we think that we're in the middle of a storm that's going to break us. But then you got somebody else out there that's going through something worse. And it just makes you wonder, well, how did they get through it? Because I was struggling to get through mine. How did they survive?
Absolutely. And that's, and I mean, for me, the struggle was real in the beginning. I mean, I went from there to addiction right away. That's where my addiction started because I numbed the pain.
Mhm.
And now I'm a recovering addict, and you've many years, 11 years, 12 will be in December.
So
And
what was the pivotal moment in your life when you said, you know what? Because I'm sure after that, I would have probably did the same thing, would have turned to everything and anything just to numb that pain. So what was that moment in your life where you say, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm going to try to get my life back on track. Because you had other children as well, right?
I had one at the time. When my daughter passed away, I had one child. And then I had another daughter. And it was when I had my third daughter, I would say, because I had 4 children technically.
Right.
One was gone. So when I had my third daughter, she was 2.5, and I had gotten into a bad car accident. And that was my moment of realization, like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I was in Philly. I didn't have my medication with me because that's always popping a pill, popping a pill, popping a pill. And I didn't have it. And I was like, I'm done. I'm
Wow.
done. Can't do this anymore.
Just
And
cold turkey.
cold turkey. And I'll tell you what, Author Nikki, it was the worst 2, 3 weeks of my life. Like I was literally crawling on the floor. Like, and I went through chemo. So, that's rough. But
Yeah.
there, that was the icing on the cake. That was hard.
Wow. See, cold turkey is hard though because I used to smoke cigarettes. I smoked cigarettes for like over 20 years. And it was that day I said this prayer. I said, Lord, take the taste out of my mouth. That's the only way I'm gonna stop. If you just take this taste out of my mouth. And I just stop. So, people used to tell me all the time, it's a mind thing, it's a mind thing. You can stop anytime you want to. Yeah, I mean, I guess so to a degree. You gotta make up your mind that you know what, I'm not gonna do this anymore.
Mm-hmm. You could, but I mean, really, in all reality, it is mind over matter, but it's also the whole motion of it. Like you're used to something every single day. That's like I told my daughter the other day. I was like, get up every morning and make your bed. Try it for 1 week straight, see what happens. Now every day she gets up and she makes her bed before she goes to school. 7
Habit.
all it took. Just a little habit like that. So I mean, it's for us, smoking cigarettes. It was a constant motion of back and forth, and watching the smoke go up. I used to smoke too, so I know. And I commend you for that. It ain't easy stopping cigarettes.
But you know what I did though? Honestly, I stopped smoking cigarettes and then I picked up Black and Miles.
Well, I went from vaping. I don't think it makes it any better.
I tried the vape, but the vape like that took me out. I was coughing. I was like, Lord, this is strong.
It
So
burns.
I couldn't do it. So I dropped one habit, picked up another habit. Now I'm catching it, trying to get rid of that habit. So listen, one day I'm gonna say the same prayer. Lord, please take the taste out of my mouth. And let's see how this work again. So you're not just a survivor, but you're a beacon of hope for other people out there because you've been through so much.
Mhm.
So how do you use these experiences, to guide you and inspire others through their struggles?
I really don't know how to answer that because it just comes naturally. Like I, people come to me and start talking about certain things, and it's like I just talk to them. I was in the hospital a while back, and I had written a book. It's not published yet, and I'm not ready for it to be published because it's about my daughter and her passing. And it was just like I felt like, okay, this is my moment where I need to tell my story because not all of it's done. And I just want to help one person, no matter what it is. And I don't know if this answers your question properly or not. It was just hard. Like it's hard and it's easy at the same time because at points it's therapeutic for me as well. Even though I went through years of therapy with, after her passing and being a DV survivor and SA survivor, I did my therapy, but people come to me. It's just like I have a magnet and then I just talk to them.
Nice. But you know what? We don't realize it though, but there's always somebody that either went through your situation or went through something worse, and then you share your story with them, and then now you're bonded. Well, they call it trauma bonding. But at the same time, you're helping one another because the same way they got through it, you can get through it too. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes your stories are similar. But
Absolutely.
but I
There's
agree.
there's so many people that I've met on social media just from my story, from sharing, letting women know when I went through cancer, to it's okay to be bald. Bald doesn't mean anything. Hair does not define you. Your heart defines you. So to let women know it's okay to be bold, like bald and beautiful. And I got a lot of backlash for that, but that's okay. Um, but you know what? It was certain things like that, and telling my story about DV and domestic violence,
Right.
sexual assault, like telling all those stories has brought so many people to me through social media and asking questions like, well, for example, a mom reached out to me because she watched the podcast that I had with Meek,
Mhm.
and she said, when is it okay to get rid of your child's stuff? And I said, I can't give you that, honey. Like, I'm sorry, baby girl. I was really, like that's what I call baby girl. Like, I'm sorry, baby girl, because she's younger than me. I can't give that to you. That's on your time. I still have a bin
Right.
downstairs that's 16 years old that I still can't go through.
Wow.
And it's, the amount of people just from that of sharing my story. And I've never did it on other social media platforms. It was just that one time with Meek, and it is open
Wow.
floodgates for people to reach out to me. And I'm very open. Like you can ask me anything.
Wow. You know what? That's a great question though. Like I have three children and a grandchild. And just thinking about that, I don't know how it feels to lose a child. But that question, I don't think I would ever get rid of my child's stuff if I went through something like that, honestly. Because I would need that. I don't know. I probably would need that, to make me feel like I was close to that child still.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't think I could get rid of that stuff if something happened to one of my children. Even my two grown children, I don't think I can just part.
For me, like the bin has the bedding that was on her bed when she passed in it. So it's like I never washed that stuff. So I just
Mm,
vacuum sealed it and put it away in a bin. And her obituaries. And it was like, okay, this is her dress she wore, a week before she passed away that still had the spaghetti sauce on it because it was a week before Easter. It was Easter Sunday. And it was like I just went through it the other day just to see if I could do it because,
mm,
I'm trying
mm.
to get the room cleaned out. And I was like, nope. I closed it, literally had it open for like 2 minutes and closed it. And I was like, you know what? There's no timeline. And everybody has their own grieving process. But what I did realize during that process of going through that bin was one, it's just things.
Right.
All of her memories are with me.
That's
And
true.
I have her urn and I have special things around it that were really important. And the stuff that's extremely important is underneath under shelf. And those are just things. But um I lost my train of thought there for a second. So they're just items. The second thing was I numbed everything while going through her funeral and everything with drugs. So I
Right.
never, and then right after that, it was domestic violence. After domestic violence, it was just kid and being a mom. I never really got the chance to fully grieve. And now I think it's time where I'm actually really grieving.
Feeling it. Right.
Like, what the hell? Like,
Wow.
yeah.
So you went from losing your child to being in a domestic violence situation after shortly after that as well?
So I lost my daughter, and then within 3 years, I was divorced from my first husband. And within 4 months after that, I was in a domestic violence relationship.
Wow.
So it was boom, 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 boom. It never ended for me. It was continuous.
So I'm gonna ask this question because this is like the number one question that people ask, and people feel like this is so easy. In a domestic violence situation, when you're with someone, is it easy to say, you know what, I'm gonna leave? How difficult is it for you to leave that person?
It's extremely hard. So the average person leaves 7 times. 7 times they come back. And I actually had 4 PFAs on this person and still came back and came back and came back, knowing the things that this person did to me and knowing you know, what was going to happen when I got back. But I still did it because I was like, no, he loves me. I was so naive and dumb. And for anybody out there that's watching this, it is not okay. If you're a man or a woman, if you're in whatever type of relationship you're in, it is not okay. Put your hands on that person. It's not okay to gaslight them, to mentally abuse them. It's actually worse to be mentally abused than physically.
Yes.
And I went through both. And I mean, I was petrified to even just sleep in the bed with him. But I know if I didn't, I mean, every day it got to the point where it was so bad that I had to have a corneal transplant because of him.
Oh no.
I've
So what was that moment where you was like, you know what? This is the deal breaker. Enough is enough. I'm leaving and I'm not turning back.
It was after 6 years, and I was like, I can't do it anymore. But at the time, I had just got pregnant with my son, so I was like, gosh, no, like this can't be happening. Why? And why, God? Why did you do this to me now? Like, and it was the moment when I was like kind of getting fed up. He had taken my phone away from me, so I wasn't allowed to use a phone. I wasn't allowed to have communication with my family. Family barbecues, nothing. I was completely like separated. It was just his family and his family only. And
Wow.
some of his family members knew. My family members knew very well. Didn't do a thing. They just let it happen. And the moment was I had gotten a phone and I was like, you know what? Every time he came in, I hid it. He didn't know. I pretended to sleep in my daughter's room with her at the time so I wouldn't have to go downstairs and be with him because I knew if I did, he would either force me to do, sexual acts with him, which I didn't want to do, or, you know, beat me, choke me, whatever he did, which I mean, there's a list of things. So the moment when he tried to cut my son out of my stomach and made my daughter at the time hold the knife, that was it for me. That was the final moment. I was like, you're going to kill me. You're not going to kill my daughter. And he literally told me, he said, if you don't get in this house, I'm going to effing kill you. And I knew he was serious.
Wow. Tried to cut the baby out and then made the other baby hold the knife.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll never forget my daughter. She looked at me and she said, I just want to hug mommy. And he said, mommy, and excuse my language, he said, mommy's a hoe. We don't hug hoes. So I got outside. I grabbed my phone. It was inside my bra. I called 911. I said, I think my boyfriend's going to kill me. I'm at this address. Hung the phone up. And 2 minutes later, he came outside. He said, I told you to effing come inside. He reached, my daughter was sitting next to me on a hill. And this is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was hoping somebody would see what was going on. He reached across my daughter, smacked me across the face. I got up and walked away, and the cops pulled up. And I said, it's over. That was, I went to with black and blue all over my face. It was cut up. It was bad.
Mm. If purpose was a person, see, I really believe that God allows us to sometimes, my mom always say, God gives you common sense. But I do believe that God allows everybody to go through something in their lives. Because just think about it. If we didn't go through something in our lives, we wouldn't know how to be as strong as we are. Look at all the things that you went through and you got through it because you have purpose. There's a reason why you are here.
Yes.
And now you have a story to tell. And you should tell it to everybody you come in contact with. Because I'm telling you, that's going to help somebody. So
And
my question is, like in the beginning, did he show any like red flags? Like in the beginning, everybody puts on this mask, that they're the great person and this, that, and the fourth.
maybe the rose-colored glasses were seriously rose-colored because I didn't see anything. And I look back now and I'm like, 2 weeks into the relationship, he was already living in my apartment thinking he owned it and choking me where I left my apartment. This is my apartment. You're a guest in my, like, I don't even know you. But he owned it. And he literally choked me, and I'll never forget that. Then I got pregnant with my daughter shortly after that. And that's when the beatings would happen. And I would just cover my stomach, just like, please don't hurt my baby. Please don't hurt my baby. Yeah.
Wow. Whew.
So very beginning it happened, and at that moment it was like, okay, I'm going through a divorce, like I don't think anybody's ever gonna love me again, that type of thing. So here this guy comes along and I'm like, oh, Mr. Perfect. And he seemed perfect for 2 weeks. He was great. They always do.
Yeah. Yeah. So now now after going through all of the divorce, going through domestic violence, losing a child in the same moment, how do you look at love now? Are you able to trust that there's somebody out there that you can love, and love you at the same time?
Well, so I recently am separated. I had gotten divorced. I mean, married again, excuse me. I had gotten married again years later. And it didn't work, but we're really good friends. And that's just how we keep it. I've known him for 20 something years. I honestly can tell you, I don't think I've ever fully been in love.
Mm,
I mean, I don't know what love is. I wasn't shown it as a child, so I don't know really what it is now. I
mm.
just know what I give my children is genuine love. And I hope that maybe one day, maybe that person will come along, whoever that person may be.
I'm so sorry that happened to you, because it makes you look at love in a different light, and then that person that do come along, you're so hesitant about it, because of what happened after 2 weeks into a relationship with somebody, thinking that this can happen again.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes people never, find love when they go through situations like that.
Like right now, for me, it's just like, let me just step back. Like I look at the person and I'll see a red flag, red flag. Nope, I'm good. If you're not a walking green flag or you got something little green on you, please don't come near me because
Please don't.
you ain't getting nothing, baby.
I know that's right. I know that's right. So now let's talk about you and sign language. The passion that I hear in your voice when it comes to sign language, and you're fluent with it. What has that work taught you about the connection with overcoming barriers, and why are you so passionate about it?
So to start off, I have three deaf aunts. So
Mhm.
I was raised in the deaf community, and my one aunt she kind of calls me her own. She was always there. So I call myself, it's a NODA, which is a niece of a deaf adult. But in the deaf community, they call me a CODA, which is a child of a deaf adult, because she calls me her daughter, you know. So sign language was my first language. And it's my escape on social media to just sing in sign language. And when you actually interpret the words in sign from like a regular song, you see how beautiful the song actually is, even if you don't know sign language.
Hmm.
And that's my escape. It's just a way to just bring two communities together, no matter what race you are, what religion. It doesn't matter. It's all about just that. And I have grown a huge platform because of it.
Nice. I love it. So now I see something else coming in play with that because you're so passionate. Have you ever thought about a nonprofit?
I have not actually. No,
Because you're
but
really passionate about it.
you're making me think a little bit here.
Got to get the wheels to running because with you being fluent in it, and you're also bringing peace and bringing communities together. Why not bring the communities together to help the deaf community?
I love that idea. I love that idea.
Hmm.
That is a good one. I didn't ever think about that, but now that like you mention it, I'm gonna have to look into it and see what happens, you know?
I think you should. I think you should. So, all right. So this is the last question before I get to the two out of the box questions. I like to ask these questions because they make you think a little bit. So, last question: what is the one message that you want listeners to walk away with today, and how can they start their own healing journey after trauma?
Whew. Okay, so the one message is please know your self-worth. Remember you're important no matter what you're going through. If it's domestic violence, sexual abuse, drug addiction. If you're clean an hour, 2 hours, and you feel like nobody loves you, I love you because you're a person, and that's important. So just remember your self-worth and continue that you're okay and you're gonna be okay. And I'm sorry, the second part was
How can they start their healing journey after the trauma?
that is something that kind of comes whenever it comes. There's no way like you can tell somebody like here this is whatever finds comfort to you, do it as long as it's not toxic for you. If it's journaling, if it's art, if it's getting outside and just sitting in a field and looking at the clouds, do it.
Mm. But you said a mouthful. Self worth. A lot of people don't know who they are. And a lot of people, believe it or not, come up in environments where their self-esteem is low.
Hmm,
So they accept anything. And I'm being that person. So when you have low self-esteem, you struggle with the fact of your self-worth. And then when you finally realize it, it's like so late in life, and now you're finally like flying with your wings now, wide open.
mm,
Because now you figured out who you were, and you ain't gonna let nobody tell you who you are. You're not gonna let your past define you. You're not gonna let anything. That's why I'm so big on your past does not define who you are.
exactly.
It doesn't. I don't care if you went to jail for something and then boom, you did your time. That doesn't mean that when you get out, you can't live your life and start over.
Mm-hmm.
I said it a lot.
Yep. You rehabilitated, you became a different person. Like it doesn't define who you are. No matter what defines you is what's in your heart.
Exactly. Exactly. So now I have these two out of the box questions for you. If you had a chance to speak directly to your 4-year old right now, what would you want her to know about you right now in your life?
Well, I mean, first I would tell her I love her. And I would let her know that I am doing things in honor of her. I I am letting her story be told. Well, my what I went through about her, and just I went through a lot of struggles, but she's been there with me. She really has. And I want to thank her for sending me her brother and her sister.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. So, if you could leave a legacy through just one action or moment, what would it be and why? And I asked this question about legacy. A lot of people look at me like, legacy. I never thought about legacy. But legacy is a big thing to me. Like, you're leaving your handprint behind, as I say.
Yeah. My thing is, so I am podcasting and I've written books. I'm a writer. Um, so mm, that would be my legacy, is the podcasting, the writing, my story. My stories are out there, and just, yeah, I think that's what it would be. I never really thought about it.
Well, I look at it like this. Somebody brought it to my attention, like, years from now, even after you're gone, they was like, your grandchildren will be able to see you on the screen. So you're leaving the blueprint behind because through your stories, through your life,
Mhm.
it's on the screen. They can always go and press play and hear your voice and see you on the screen. So that is a legacy. That's a legacy. Never thought about it that way, but that's a legacy. And I
Yeah.
always say, I'm working so hard for the people that came before me and the people that came behind me. And I literally am. Like, I want my mother and my father and everybody's going on to be happy. And I want my grandchildren and my children to say, you know what, that's my mama. So that's my why in everything I do. And people are like, why you stay up all the time? Why you don't get no sleep? Those are my whys.
There you go.
That's my strength. I be up here, child. If you could see me at this computer, I'd be falling over. I done went to sleep and took a nap, woke up again, typing like I ain't been asleep.
Oh no.
I'm gonna do better. I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to do better. I'm trying. So now we're gonna do the Would You Rather game. I'm gonna introduce it with the countdown, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
It's time for Would You Rather. Answer fast and don't just choose. Tell us why. We want to hear your vibe behind the pick. Let's go. All right. So, first question. Would you rather experience all of your pain again for the growth purposes it brought, or skip the pain but lose the lessons?
I go through it all over again.
Me too. Me too. I always say that, you know what? There's a reason for everything that we go through. Because I really feel like God chooses certain people to go through certain battles because he knows they're strong enough to handle it. And
Yes.
he's not going to put no more on you than you can bear. He knew you can handle everything that you went through. And he knew that you was going to come out stronger than ever. And sometimes some of us, we have to go through what they call a Job experience. We have to lose everything,
Mhm.
including our faith, for us to really see people for who they are, things for who they are. And sometimes everybody can't go to the next level with you. And you might want them to, but they can't.
They can't.
They just
They don't.
can't.
And I mean, those lessons made me who I am today.
Absolutely. You have to have that pain in order for you to go through the good things in your life. And it's sad. It's really sad that we have to hurt like that and sometimes be numb to the pain because that's the way life works, unfortunately. So, our next one is, would you rather change the world through your story or your actions?
Actions always speak louder than words. Um, but definitely I hmm.
That's a good one, ain't
Yeah,
it?
this one, because I'm like, well, I mean, if I do this, it shows my actions, so then my words go with it. But if I just say my words, then there's no action. So I think I'm gonna have to say my actions, because then the words can come later.
Right. Because I believe that too. Actions speak louder than words. People tell me, yeah, I love you. If you don't show me you love me, I don't believe nothing coming out your mouth.
Uh-uh.
They can tell me, I'm sorry that I did this to you. I say all the time, apologies don't mean nothing to me. They be like, what you mean? If you apologize to me, you still repeat what you just did to hurt me, then the apology didn't mean anything, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe in apologies. So I'm a big person on show me. Show me what you got. Show me that you love me.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Actions be louder than words. So the last one. Would you rather speak to your past self or your future self for 1 hour?
My past though,
Hmm.
because I would let my past self know, hey, this is what you're up against in the future, just so you know. But you're going to be okay. You're going to come out better and bigger. And just know that you can weather the storm. Because once you weather the storm, there's going to be rainbows and sunshine, baby.
I'm kind of torn. I want to talk to my past self and tell them that everything's gonna be okay. But I want to talk to my future self too because I want to. What's gonna happen? Am I gonna come out of these storms? Am I gonna be the billionaire I keep speaking it and manifesting? What's gonna happen? So I don't know. But then I wouldn't want to know what's going on either because that's kind of like that situation where I don't know. There might be some bad stuff in the future I don't want to know about.
What I'm
So
saying, I don't want to know, like, is the world going to end in 2 years? Because I'm not sure. Like, do I need to plan? Do I need to put MREs? Because I'm ready. Do
okay.
I need
I need to know something. Exactly. So I'm torn. I want to talk to my past self and uplift my past self, but I kind of want to know. I'm nosy a little bit. I want to know what's going on in the future too, so
Yeah,
I can prepare myself.
you got me thinking too. Like, well, I mean, I kind of want to know, but do I really want to know? Like,
Right.
I don't think I do. Let me just, you know what? Let's just live in the like right now, the present, because it is a gift. I don't want to know about happy tomorrow. Just let me live right now.
I'm telling you, it's a blessing just to be here now because there's so many people I say this all the time and people really don't get it when I say this. But the older I get, the more I value my time
Mm-hmm.
because you really don't know. You could be talking to somebody right now and then call them the next minute and they're gone.
Matter of
Like
seconds.
it's young and old. There's no discrimination on that anymore. So you have to be careful with your time with people, and you have to check on them people that are strong too, because sometimes they get weak.
Yep.
So
Even if I send my person or my friends, I'll send an emoji like yo you good, or I'll say you good. Like I only got two people, so it's like the ones that I really check on all the time every day. You good? And then I'll send an emoji to the other one. If they send it back, okay, we don't have to have a conversation. Just you
right,
good.
it's
Like
just that simple. Just check on a person because I never forget. Grief has been like in and out of my life, and I
mm,
had this one friend that was like dear to me, and for whatever reason on that day I missed her call. And she left a voicemail that she had to talk to me. I get to work, normal, third shift. I was working third shift at that time. I was working for like the Board of Disabilities. And I got to work. And when I walked in the door, they told me she died. She got killed in a car accident.
oh my goodness.
Right after she called me, I like to lost it. I like to lost it. And I'm still dealing with that to this day because I'm like, I didn't know she called me. So if I had known she was calling me, I would have answered the phone. I'm like, I'm still pondering, what did she have to tell me that day? I had to go home. I couldn't even stay at work that night. And I
You
didn't
know,
go back to work until after the funeral.
wow. But you have to remember, like, you missed that phone call for a reason, and now you have her voice on voicemail for a reason. You could, when you did, like, you have her, it's there, or it was there. I don't know if it's still there, but
I still ain't there. I done got too many phones after that and I lost it. And that was worse. So it's just like, I'm really big on valuing your time with people because you really don't know. She
you,
just called me and now I can't call her back.
I get it. Like, when my daughter passed, 26 minutes from the time I checked on her until the time I checked on her again. Like, I laid her down for a nap and checked on her 26 minutes later,
See?
gone.
They
And
don't get it.
6 has stayed with me throughout since the process of her passing. The number 26. I can't. I don't know what it means,
Mm.
but yeah.
They don't get it, but time is really important, and especially when you love people, because build those memories.
Hmm.
Because when they're gone, that's all you have. Like when they're gone, they don't hear you, they don't see you. I mean, maybe they do. I've never left here before, but maybe they do hear us, hear you. But I never. But
Oh, they do. I believe they do. I have a strong belief because I have a little bit of an ability to see certain things, and that's one of the ways me and Meek met. And I kind of said some things to him, and he was just like, How did you know that? Like nobody knows that." And I was like, I can see certain things."
you know what I noticed, as and it took somebody pointing this out to me. I say things, and I have to be careful now. That's why they say it's a power in the tongue. I say things, and they come to pass. But I didn't know that for a long time until somebody pointed out to me. They was like, "Do you remember you said that the other day, and it happened 2 days later?" I was
Mm,
like,
you manifesting it. It's the law of attraction. If you believe you can see it, it's gonna come to you, no matter in some whatever form. That's just how it
I don't
is.
say anything no more. I don't say. I don't say. I be careful what I say now. I be like, let me choose my words better this time, so I can make sure I'm saying the right stuff over people's lives. Because
You gotta be careful. I'm gonna say I would like a tall, dark man. Thank you very much.
oh my goodness. All right, now be careful what you ask for. You got to put some details to it. You got to put some details to it. Oh my God. This has been a great conversation. So now we're down to the moment where the light is on you, only you. And I say this to everybody because I do the countdown. I'm like, listen, when we come back, it's going to be only you on the spotlight. I'm not going to be up there with you. It's going to be on you. This is your moment for you to let everybody know how to follow your journey, how to connect with you. We need to know about that book and the podcast too. We need to know when that's coming around so I can tune in, especially in support. And all the good stuff that's out there, the stuff you want to share, stuff that
Okay.
you want to share. So after the countdown, and one last thing, give the audience something to reflect on, some type of advice, some type of motivation to keep going, even when they're in chaos, even when those storms come. So
Whew.
I'm gonna play the countdown, and it's on you. All right.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Stacy. You can find me on Facebook. It's under Stacy Cregar. You can find me on TikTok under Stots, right down there, STOTZ. Also on Instagram, Stotzarella. I know it sounds like Stots, like mozzarella, Stotzarella. So 2025 is going to be my year where I am going to help as many people as possible through my journey that I've been through podcasting. My book is coming out. I'm in the middle of writing a screenplay. I'm also a ghostwriter. So I have a lot going on and a lot coming up, but hopefully you guys just look for my name. Stott. It's usually under Stotts, and you'll be able to see me there. And as far as something to reflect on or something that's going to be, for you to remember, just, just remember, to the world, you're one person, but to one person, you're the world. And that doesn't matter who that person is. It could be your child, it could be your animal, it could be your family member, it could be anybody. So,
You said a mouthful with that. To the world, you're one person. To the one person, you're the world. Whew.
mm, that's one of my favorites.
I love that. I love that. I'm gonna steal that from you now. Now this message. But But I've had a great time. I thank you so much again for supporting my journey
Oh,
and coming on Breaking the Silence and allowing me to shine the light on you. I tell every guest this. You're gonna probably think I'm stalkerish because every time I see somebody's doing something that came across my platform with is good, I snatch it real quick and I share it. So I'm gonna be like one of your biggest supporters from here out. But if there's anything that you need from me for us to get your podcast going, or some advice, or to help you with your book, listen. Nobody helped me when I was in them areas, and I'm always willing to help. So you
yeah.
need me, I'm here. I'm just an inbox away, and if you need my number, I'm just a call away. However, I'm here for you. So just let me know if there's anything I can do on my end for you to help you get to the next level in your life.
I appreciate that. And thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor. And, I've heard so much about you. So when you asked to be, put the light on me, I messaged him. I was like, what does that mean? He's like, she wants. I'm like, what? I started, he was like, calm down. I'm like, I'm excited.
Oh my goodness! And then you gonna inbox me and say I'm nervous. I said it's no need to be nervous. I am so down to earth, and we gonna have a good time. You gonna be fine. This is about you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I told him. I'm like, what do I do? He's like, just be yourself. Like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I can't. How do I do that? He's like, just talk. It ain't that deep.
She said, "How do I do that?"
How do I do that?
But look at you. You came here and you did fine.
I did. Thank you
You
so
did
much.
fine. So we locked in for life. It's winning together. That's the only way we can be. That's it.
That's it.
I see you at the top, my friend. And thank you so much to everybody else out there that's tuning into this amazing episode, y'all. I told y'all was gonna be shocked. I told y'all was gonna be like, what? She went through that. She got through that. She's still standing. Yes, she's still here because she has purpose. And I'm going to speak this in existence for her. I'm going to manifest that nonprofit. It's coming. Watch y'all. And she going to come back too, y'all. And we're going to talk about the nonprofit and how y'all can sow seeds into it. Watch now. Y'all heard it here first. But yes, this was a powerful conversation. And I want to thank Miss Stacy for showing up for me and showing me what true strength looks like. Because a lot of us go through things and a lot of us don't show it. And she don't look like what she been through. My mom always told me, don't go out there looking like what you been through. And you know what? She wearing it well. She wearing it well. So if her story has touched you, reminded you of your own strength, or gave you some type of hope, share it. Somebody out there needs to hear this. So remember, your voice matters. Your story has power. And together, we're breaking the silence, y'all. So until next time, I'm your host, Author Nikki Nicole. I am rooting for y'all. Trust me, I'm rooting for y'all. Stay strong, stay seen, and stay true. Later. Thank you for tuning in today. If something spoke to your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs it. Be sure to follow, subscribe, and drop a review to let me know how I'm impacting your journey. And before I go, listen to this powerful review from one of my amazing guests. You don't want to miss what they had to say. Later.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Incognita, and I'm here to tell you about an amazing podcast. It's Nikki Nicole's Breaking the Silence. I was honored to be a guest on this podcast, and I had such an amazing time. It felt like I was talking to a long lost friend. She's so dope and so sweet. So please support her. Go to her channel, subscribe, check out her videos, comment, just any way that you can support her. She's providing a platform for people to share their voice, share some love and some positive information. So definitely check that out. My episode will be airing in March, so I'll be sure to keep y'all posted on that. I'll post it on my page with a link when the time comes. But in the meantime, in between time, all the time, support my girl Nikki, Breaking the Silence podcast. I love y'all. God bless.